Evening all, it's Mike from Usuallybrokencars, and in tonight's episode we're going to look at the cooling side of things. I'm going to take that rusty old radiator out, we get it sent away, recoiled and refitted, and then we're also going to look at some of the protection from the underside of the vehicle, try and prevent any more rust ingress getting in there. So let's get into it. Right, so getting the car up on the ramp, I didn't get any real good footage of me actually removing the radiator. It was stubborn and a lot of the brackets were pretty corroded. The two at the bottom just snapped clean off. But my dad's with me again, and we've got the rad off, took the cowling with it. It all seems to be operating pretty well in terms of actually spinning, like the fan spun fine. Now, what my dad did was he actually took it to a company in Luton, and we had to leave it with those guys for a few weeks. And when we got it back, it was recoiled, and it looked fantastic, to be fair. Right, so I'm underneath the 924, basically sat where the radiator should be. It's not bad under here, it's not great either. There is a bit of surface rust, but it's pretty fine. There's a little bit of damage here where we had to take the radiator out, but generally it's not bad. It's pretty clean. I think it's been just bent a bit here in the past, maybe, I'm not sure. Remember kids, safety first. So I just wanted to, while the radiator was out, try and clean up as best I can, because I figured hopefully it won't be coming out again, and we can get as much of the rust sort of treated while it's out. As I said, it does actually look a lot worse than what it actually is. It's nowhere near as rotten as it looks. That's all, you know, solid, it's just surface rust, so. So I'm going to use Normfest, or whatever it's called, bottom guard recoat. It was just what Euros has to hand, so, and like I say, I'm probably just going to put a bit of masking tape along this edge here, just to stop any overspray. Because of the positioning, like from the underside of the vehicle, if I just spray it directly on, you'd end up getting the sides of like the pop-ups and probably some of the front valance and things like that. So while it was all out, it was just easier just to mask it up and just make sure that I didn't get any overspray on anything. And yes, I know I should have some sort of protection for my lungs, but I was being lazy, and I regret my decision pretty much instantly after I'd finished this, because I felt pretty rough. But it didn't stop me doing it again. So like I say, it dried really quickly, it coated really easily. So yeah, it's kind of ideal really. You're just looking for a bit of quick cover. I'm not sponsored by them by any means, but as I say, yeah, good stuff. So had the rad back from the
refurbishers, and to be fair, they have done a really nice job with it. The rad itself was absolutely annihilated, as you remember from the videos, and all of the bottom was blown out in its entirety. So he's done a complete rebuild of the rad itself. Yeah, so fingers crossed we can get it in and get it working. I've got to put the cooler temperature sensor in there, and we're going to, for now, just zip tie the actual fan to the body of it.
The reason I'm zip tying it on is purely for the fact that a lot of the fixings broke off, as you saw earlier, so just putting some zip ties through it just made my life easier, because then I didn't have to try and source new fixings and fastenings right at this point in time, and I can get it running and make sure it's all working, so I don't have to take it out again.
As I say, I've literally just cable tied it on for now. That's just nipped up, should be enough. So let's get it fitted.
Again, unfortunately, I didn't really get much footage of it going back in because it was just a bit awkward, and somebody did come to help me and I didn't want to waste their time by faffing about with camera angles. But I took the vehicle through to the other side of the workshop, got it up on the hoist, and I'm now going to start undersealing it. I'm literally just blowing out any dust and loose debris ready, so that when I start painting it, it's got a decent surface to stick to. Right guys, back under the Porsche. So it is in pretty good nick. I know it is a lot of like surface rust and stuff, but it is only just surface rust. There isn't any major holes or anything in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up the camera. I'm going to try and just get a bit of a base coat on the underside of it today. Things like the bottom of these strut towers, the across the torsion beam as well. You can see the brake pipe that I replaced. She's still good. And the pockets lad. Again, a little bit of the fuel leak on the bottom of the airbox. Engine's nice and dry. There's no obvious signs of any coolant leak where we had to take the pump off. And again, new rad's looking good too. Fan cuts in and out as it should. The horns still leave a bit to be desired though. Otherwise, she's solid lad. Again, I'm going to get some paint on these, so I shall put some paper around where I don't want paint, like inside the arches and stuff. I'm going to try and keep them red. Again, I'm going to wire brush these and paint the fuel lines and stuff. I think these actually might be brake lines, not fuel lines. They're the fuel lines. So, let's see how we get on, peeps. You can hardly see it in the video, but just there was so much loose dust and debris that came off of this. I'm glad I wore a suit, because when I finished I was absolutely covered, and I have saved a little picture for the end of the video, and you can just see the humongous pile of crud that come off of it. Really, all I wanted to do was just mask up generally the body of the vehicle where the original paint protection was there, because it was still in good condition, and if I could keep it red, I'd like to. So I just masked off and taped off the areas that I didn't want to get the sort of the Normfest and Warm Guard, whatever it is, on them.
So I'm actually pretty pleased with the way it's come out. Just going to show you this one side, and then I'll carry on doing the rest. But that's come up really well. So hopefully I'll just stop the weather getting to it over the winter.
So yeah, pretty pleased with that. Just a quick before and after shots. You know, I cleaned it up pretty well, but I think it's actually come up really nice. Like I say, it's just there just to try and stop the ingress over the winter, and to keep it fresh, so that when we get to it in summer we can maybe do some coilies or something, but for the meantime it'll do the job. And there's that massive great pile of rust. It doesn't look like a lot, but it was. So I don't know about you, but I was actually pretty surprised with how well that cleaned up. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what you think to the product as well. I was pleasantly surprised with it. I think it was only about £7 a can. It wasn't a lot of money, and actually I'm pretty impressed with the end result. And I was even more impressed with the quality of the radiator when that came back. So yeah, let's tell me what you think in the comments, and then next episode hopefully maybe we'll get it, take it for a drive now that we can keep it cool. So stay tuned, thanks for watching. Do the subscribe, it really does make the difference to me. My goal this year is to get 1,000 subs. If you're not already subscribed, just hit that button. It doesn't mean anything to you, but it means the world to me. So thanks again, see you soon.